The idea for a film Brighter Days came to me when I was desperately out of schedule with my first idea for the final project, which I wanted to be a 5-minute music video for the Beatles song called A Day in the Life. I had been developing that for about a month and a half, learning how to use 3D software called Maya. But the time was running out and I couldn't even show any progress to my tutors because I was just doing tutorials and learning how to use the software. They didn't have Maya installed on school computers, so I couldn't come to school either. When most of the group already did some test shots and principal photography, the only things I could show were some sketches and plans of a room and a record player I wanted to make in 3D. When tutors saw it, I think they wanted to make it clear that I only had about a month left and that I was moving towards a disaster. Even I thought I was crazy, out of my mind, and I couldn't even explain to my girlfriend what the hell I was doing, so she probably thought I was crazy as well. I wasn't in a group for this project, so I didn't have a collaborator, and I was just floating on my own, not knowing what to do, and this state of depression I was in was reflected upon the relationship with my girlfriend and our lifestyle. I was experiencing all kinds of phobias at that time, feeling lonely, isolated, stupid, degrading, even paranoid sometimes. I can't say that I wasn't moving at all with the project, because I did, but I can surely say that I was moving in the wrong direction without any sense of time and responsibility, and I was moving too slow compared to the guys who were shooting their projects with a camera and small crew. At some point I realized that I had to start doing something else, something that I would be able to complete in a month's time. Nothing genuine came to my head except for reflections of my own experience of living in the state I had been for several months. However, I didn't want to try to make a film about paranoia or some experimental piece with the word isolation as a title, because these are made by many students every once in a while. There were three directors whose work interested and emotionally affected me. I have been digging into Alfred Hitchcock for quite a while, and it amazed me how deeply his imagery and visual storytelling were affecting the stories that he told on an emotional level, so that you couldn't tell a story from any of his films without imagining the pictures from it. He would prefer to tell the story visually, which only the greats can successfully do, like Kubrick or maybe even Terrence Malick. David Fincher's work for me is like a contemporary Hitchcock, but with the better tools at his disposal. I really admire his precision and what he does with computer-generated imagery, so realistically used in unexpected places so that you wouldn't think an entire house and rooms in the film Panic Room or a whole San Francisco alley on the background in Zodiac aren't real. I really enjoyed watching The Social Network 4 times in the cinema because of the great storytelling and sharp dialogues, with the spirit of modern times and age of main characters translated into the movie so successfully as many compare it to Mike Nichols' The Graduate. The book by Doreen Alexander Child about a contemporary screenwriter and director Charlie Kaufman, called Confessions of an Original Mind, was a great source into Kaufman's way to work and his personality. Being a very literate and highly intelligent person, he would be inspired in his works by literature from a variety of cultures and time, from Greek mythology to Chaucer, Charles Darwin, Nietzsche and Sigmund Freud, to Akhmatova, Chekhov, Nabokov, and to Kafka, Chris Marker, Philip K. Dick, and Monty Python. However, he would say that his major influences are his own feelings and experiences. I would say that his film, which has affected me the most emotionally, is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, directed by Michel Gondry. The dialogues and characters in it are bigger than life. You would always discover something new from rewatching the film again and again, and it has a profound effect on emotions without Hollywood melodrama cliches. For me, this film is one of a few which I am obsessed about, like Hitchcock's Vertigo or Fincher's Zodiac and Fight Club or Scorsese's Taxi Driver. And Michel Gondry make a great impact on the dreamy quality of the film, which for me is like watching a really pleasant and beautiful dream and not wanting to wake up, willing to see the same dream next night. For this project, I wanted to actually write a dialogue between two characters. The dialogue was mainly retelling and exaggerating real dialogues I had with my girlfriend. I was reflecting upon my own behavior and wanted to make a really depressed and childish character who blames his girlfriend for everything. In the test shots, I'm only wearing trousers to show that my body is not in a good shape and to add that disgraceful quality to the character. Because I was trying to shoot the video as well as acting in front of the camera, I couldn't imagine how it is going to be on the video in terms of composition, etc. And there are takes where my bottom fills most of the frame. I also couldn't achieve mobility for this type of emotionally intense dialogue. I wanted to have more shaky and handheld camera movements and not the stability of shooting on a tripod. The lighting isn't good either, too dark red and monotone. I tried to use studio lights as well, but they illuminated the scene too softly and evenly. This sequence was aimed to show the contrast between partners in this relationship. While the girl is jogging in order to improve herself, the guy sits inside of a house around the mess he has created and does nothing. I also shot some footage where we look from a subjective point of view of our character outside the window into the streets and people who walk by to indicate his sense of paranoia. The footage of Carousel wasn't planned. I was just really interested how the lens I purchased, called Lens Baby Control Freak, can be used to create this dreamy quality in an image. Then I realized that when shooting such entertaining subject as Carousel, you have to pick the point of view of a child. It is known that little children are short-sighted, and looking through this is probably near to what a child sees. So I shot most of the footage from a low angle using this blurry lens and even got onto it and filmed the journey. I realized later that this can be used in a film to show the state of mind of the main character, his need to be pleased by others, and how dull he sees his life without bright illuminating lights.